Well, there's vampire this and vampire that. Just like television, manga seems to have gone through a phase where vampires are in fashion. We seem to be coming out of it now. However, as I'm not making any attempt to do reviews in publication date order, I'm sure I've got plenty of vampire fun still left to go. At first glance, Vampire Games seems like a pretty standard material. It's a fantasy world with a small little kingdoms each built up around a castle, with a monarch inside ruling the place. Vampires seem to have a pretty sweet time of things in Vampire Game. Sucking or otherwise receiving someone's blood allows them to shapeshift into a copy of that person. While they have a weakness against holy magic, sunlight does not affect them. They are immortal if they can avoid the aforementioned holy magic. Even if not, then they get to remain as vampires and be reincarnated with all their memories in their next lives. The series stars Ishtar, a princess of one of the kingdoms, and Duzzle, a vampire who was offed by a man named King Philios, an ancestor of Ishtar's. The reincarnated Duzzle knows that Philios will also be reincarnated, and would like to find him to get his revenge. His plans are quickly rumbled by Ishtar, but then to his surprise she covers for him rather than oust him, and then agrees to help. Ishtar is definitely the driving force behind both the plot and the humour in the manga, and she also dominates how the other characters interact with each other. What I like so much about Vampire Game is that not a single character is wasted. Every character is original and interesting in their own right. Duzzle's search for Philios, Ishtar secretly helping, and the pair of them pulling the wool over the eyes of the rest of the cast remain the focus of the story for most of the series, and of everyone in the series, Duzzle and Ishtar's characterisation is definitely the strongest. But the rest of the cast still have a lot of work put into their story, making them more than just bystanders to Duzzle and Ishtar's plot. Each member of the cast has their own motivations, goals and subplot line. Magic comes up quite often in Vampire Game, but thankfully I also like the way that magic is handled in this series. Pseudoscience is kept to a minimum, and of all the special laws of physics that affect the world are laid down way in advance of being used, and then the author sticks to them rigidly. The storylines are also very good. I'm not sure exactly how to describe an interesting storyline in a review, other than telling you to read it. But this is one of the rare comics that come with interesting and unexpected plot twists, yet never do anything that a reader could not have in theory predicted, making it possible for the reader to speculate. As much as I like to QQ and whinge about anything wrong with a comic, I'm afraid I can't think of a bad point worth mentioning. So I'm giving this series my top score. The writing stands head and shoulders above anything else, and I wish more manga had stories as good as this. Oh, and in my review of Chibi Vampire, I said that the endings of the two series were similar, but having just reread both, I must report that present me doesn't fully agree with past me. In whichever story you read second, you'll notice just a little bit of deja vu during the ending, but it's not major.